with the amount of press and attention and worldwide intrigue in this case, you think if they really had charges on him and they actually had a strong case, they would let him leave? Because I'll tell you this looks really bad for the Romanian government. Not only did they have a file get sent back to them after years of investigation saying it lacks evidence, they also had to concede and let him leave the country. So if the case was as strong as a lot of you ass clowns say that hate Andrew so much and just want him to go to jail, if the case was that strong, they wouldn't have let him leave.
I don't know why Ron's answer wasn't, he has an American passport. The judicial system in Romania, which I know absolutely nothing about, decided to let him fly, and he's flown to his home country. As far as we're concerned, he's broken no laws. Instead, what he did was say, we're going to get our attorney general to try and find some laws he's broken and wreck this man who's done.
Yeah, that's actually pretty fucking ridiculous, bro. That's actually fucking ridiculous.
Nothing inside of the United States ever.
Find the man and I'll find a crime. Remember that? Communist times.
Isn't the whole point of democracy innocent until proven guilty? I've yet to even have a trial, let alone a conviction. I've never even been tried. After 3 years, I've never been to trial.
And this is true. As much as everyone wants to hate on Andrew Tate, because there's a bunch of fucking Twitter accounts, by the way, that are talking shit and saying these guys are traffickers and all this other bullshit. Fine, you know what? Let's go ahead and go with your little thing. Here's the reality, though, and this you can't refute. Even the biggest Andrew Tate haters can't refute this. One of the files was sent back to the prosecutors because it lacked evidence. Now, some people get angry when Andrew says the case was dismissed. Some people say it wasn't dismissed. It was simply sent back to the prosecutors to have more evidence. But the fact of the matter is simply this, because I really want the haters to understand this, right? The fact of the matter is simply this. There was insufficient evidence to go to trial, okay? It's on the prosecution to bring the evidence forward. So the fact that the prosecution brought the evidence forward and a judge said, this isn't enough to go to trial, that doesn't look very good, okay? Now, I know some of you guys are saying, well, he's going to get indicted again and there's going to be another file. That's fine. That's fine. But what matters is they spent years building this file. Time to go to trial. Judge looks at it. This is insufficient for trial. Sends it back. That doesn't look good no matter what the fuck you say. You could be the biggest Tate hater in the world. Some of you guys get angry when he says the case was dismissed. Fine. Don't even use that term. But the fact is simply this. The file got sent back to the prosecution because it lacks sufficient evidence to stand trial. And all you bitch-ass niggas on Twitter know exactly what I'm talking about. There's like 3 accounts that I could think of right now that are the biggest fucking Tate haters on X. You guys know exactly who I'm talking about. You guys get all butthurt when he says the case was dismissed. You guys say it's misinformation, he's lying when he says the case was dismissed. Fine, let's say the case wasn't dismissed. I'll tell you this. It ain't ready for fucking trial, and they've had years to fucking build it. That's number one. Number two, they were allowed to leave Romania, okay? Let's exercise a little bit of common sense here. I'm the Romanian prosecutor. I'm the Romanian government. Prior to Andrew Tate dealing with this criminal case, no one knew where the fuck Romania was on a map, okay? Let's be honest here. 99% of you motherfuckers did not know Romania even existed before Andrew Tate. He literally put the country on the map. And I mean that shit, okay? So, with the amount of press and attention and worldwide intrigue in this case, and in your government that's pursuing Andrew Tate in this case, you think if they really had charges on him and they actually had a strong case, they would let him leave? Like, real talk. Even the biggest haters that hate Andrew Tate, be honest with me here, okay? I'm speaking from a neutral standpoint. I'm not speaking as if this guy's my friend right now. I'm speaking completely neutrally at this point. If the Romanian government truly had the evidence that they needed to convict him and he was guilty, do you think they would have let him out of jail? Do you think they would have let him off house arrest? Do you think they would have let him out the country? Because I'll tell you this looks really bad for the Romanian government. Not only did they have a file get sent back to them after years of investigation saying it lacks evidence from the fucking judge, they also had to concede and let him leave the country. So if the case was as strong as a lot of you ass clowns say that hate Andrew so much and just want him to go to jail, if the case was that strong, they wouldn't have let him leave. And you guys know this deep down. And it fucking burns you guys because you guys keep fucking tweeting saying that he's misinformation, he's lying. The fact of the matter is, this case put the nation of Romania in the fucking limelight. It put the government in the limelight. It put the prosecutor in the limelight. It put the judge in the limelight. If there's any case that they can't afford to lose, it's fucking this one. All right? So the fact that they've sent files back, the fact that they've let them leave the country, the fact that they keep getting their stuff back, the fact that they get their money back, their cars back, their land back, etc., tells me that the case was weak from the fucking beginning. And I think anyone with common sense, even people that don't like the Tate brothers, you don't have to like them. But look at this objectively. Romania has everything to fucking lose. Why the fuck would they let them leave and embarrass their judicial system the way they're doing right now? They don't have evidence to go to trial, chat. Facts are facts. Cry, cry, cry. But anyway, me just exercising a little bit of common sense here.
All those times I'm walking in and out of court, I've never had a trial. And communism, as we've
And they can't have a trial because they don't have evidence.
understood it and tried very hard to fight against for so long, the basic premise is that you find the man and then find the crime. Is that not exactly what Ron DeSantis just promised to all of his constituents? It's not, we've seen a crime, let's find the perpetrator.
And I want to say another reason for this as well is because there's been a bunch of like traditional conservatives that have been complaining about Andrew Tate coming to Florida, Ben Shapiro, and a couple other idiots on Twitter, which is comical to me because here's the other thing too, I want to say this, because these TradCons also dislike me. Look, you bitch-ass fucking TradCons, okay? Let me be painfully fucking blunt about this. You guys don't resonate with the youth. You're not cool. You're not interesting. You don't have cool battle stories. You guys aren't in shape. You guys don't have a killer mentality. You guys aren't the best of articulating yourselves when it comes to stories. And you guys simply aren't interesting. I'm talking about guys on the Daily Wire. I'm talking about your traditional conservative Christians. Like, you guys are just fucking boring and you guys aren't interesting. And you guys, a lot of you guys didn't have interesting come-ups, if I'm going to be honest. Right? And quite frankly, a lot of young people don't give a fuck about American politics. And that's what you guys talk about the most. And also on top of that, a lot of you guys exercise a level of decorum in the way that you speak, which is fine. That's great. You want to attract a boomer audience. You guys want to go ahead and get people that, you know, are a bit more politically inclined, people that might have been watching Fox News, but now they want to watch you. Cool. That's fine. You want to get people in their 40s and up? No problem. That is the way that you broadcast conservative media. But if you want to capture the youth, if you want to capture people that are younger, right? Whether 18 all the way up to maybe the 30s. If you want to capture people in that demographic, you got to be charismatic. You got to be interesting. You got to have a cool story. You got to be edgy to a degree, right? You got to have a know-how of how to attract and deal with modern women because men are interested in women. And unfortunately, guys like Ben Shapiro aren't going to teach you that shit. It is what it is. So there's an insane, it's actually fucking ridiculous. There's an insane amount of jealousy to Andrew Tate because he's been able to capture a lot of people that might have not been conservative or were kind of on the fence and turn them to conservatives. You want to know who else has been able to do that really fucking well? A guy named Nick Fuentes. He's been able to take guys that normally don't give a fuck about politics, young guys, 16 all the way up until about 28, 29, right? Not only get them interested in politics, but get them interested in conservative politics. Maybe he might do it in a way that you don't like. Maybe he uses certain phrases and certain terms and edginess that people don't like. But guess what? He's absolutely galvanized ridiculous amounts of young men and made them politically inclined and made them conservative. I've said this before, I'll say it again. Guys like Andrew Tate, guys like Sneeko, guys like Nick Fuentes are instrumental in getting the youth to be more conservative. It's not Ben Shapiro. It's not Steven Crowder. It's not Dan Bongino. It's not anybody from the fucking Daily Wire for that matter, or anybody from any of these, you know, big conservative outlets. It's not. It's those guys that I mentioned before. Because quite frankly, Jordan Peterson, all these guys, they're boring. They're fucking boring. I said it. They're fucking boring. And that is where traditional conservative media loses people. You guys aren't cool. So what ends up happening is young men don't want to fucking watch you guys. But they see Andrew Tate with the Bugatti phrases, calling women on our podcast, talking to girls, right? That's way more, that resonates way more with young men. Now they're interested. Now that they're interested, they want to hear what he's got to say. That's when he goes ahead and gives them the conservative values of being a man, getting your money out, getting yourself in the gym, working really hard, and then if you want to go ahead and have multiple women, you can have that, but at the same time, you can have monogamy, because he was able to capture their attention, okay? He's able to capture their attention because he was able to live a certain lifestyle, right, and show a certain lifestyle that a lot of guys want. I'm sorry, but the nuclear family isn't sexy to a lot of dudes. Maybe later on in life, but when they're young, it simply isn't. All right? And it's amazing to me how nobody calls out these older traditional conservatives for their fucking apparent jealousy that Andrew Tate was able to get an entire group of people that these traditional conservatives would have never fucking reached anyway, and was able to get them to look at things from a more right-wing perspective. So when Andrew and Tristan and them say, hey, look, we got a lot of young men to start taking a more conservative stance on their worldviews, on masculine and responsibility, on the masculine burden of performance, they're absolutely right in that. They're absolutely right in that. And I'd also give credit to guys like Sneeko and Nick Fuentes as well. And people don't like that. They don't like that because, like, these TradCons, it's like a fucking clique chat. And I can tell you guys this from being around them. It's a clique. And if you're not in the clique, they don't want you in. If you don't have their exact viewpoints when it comes to marriage and relationships and dealing with women, they don't want you in. But what they don't realize is, unfortunately, the Bible doesn't solve for a lot of the problems that modern women present. Simply doesn't. Because the training wheels that we had in place that used to keep women in check, they're fucking gone. Instagram, social media, sex work, right? The temptation of earning quite a bit of money by leveraging your sexuality. It's tarnished the majority of women, especially younger, attractive women. So now we have to deal with a new normal. A new normal that people that watch these conservative media types don't understand. But guys like me, guys like Andrew Tate, guys like Nick Fuentes, guys like Sneeko, etc., we understand because we deal with women in this age group because we are younger. So that is why we resonate more with the younger people. And this is where the TradCons fuck up. And this is why a lot of their audience is boomers that don't fucking get it. The sexual marketplace has changed. Relationships with women have changed. Now, can you go out there and run hopefully find a good Christian woman that will follow your lead and be dutiful to you and not be a 304? Of course you can find that. But is it likely? Probably not. And that is a disconnect, right? That's one of the main disconnects, matter of fact, between your TradCon media, your Bonginos, your Crowders, your Jordan Petersons, your Shapiros, your Daily Wires. That is the main disconnect between them and guys like Andrew Tate, myself, Sneeko, etc., right? And many others. But I'm just naming some that I could think of. That is the main disconnect. They don't get it in that regard. And that's why guys like us resonate more with the younger people than they do. And obviously, with Andrew Tate's monumental fame, they dislike that because they look at it like, this is our shit. Yeah, we're the conservatives. We don't like your whole neoconservative viewpoint. Ugh. This is why guys like Ben Shapiro get mad at me when I said you need to have a 50 body count before you get married. But unfortunately, he doesn't get it because he was like in an arranged marriage. He lost his virginity to his wife, if I'm not mistaken. He went up to his wife and said, I'd like to court you. How many of you guys think that'll work in fucking 2025, walking up to a girl? Hey, I'd like to court you. Come on, man. Get the fuck out of here. It's not going to work. So sorry, Ben. No one's listening to you for relationship advice, bro. Sorry, you know? Unfortunately, we saw what happened with Crowder. He married a super Christian woman. She tried to drag his fucking name through the mud, and she lied on him. Using a fucking door cam. Try to destroy his image, his life. She's a super Christian woman, but guess what? The state is secular. So women can sit there and say, I'm a good Christian woman, and then when they feel like it, turn around, appeal to feminism, and destroy your fucking life. So that's what we prepare guys for, guys like me and Andrew, etc. We prepare you guys for the new fucking normal of women that the TradCons simply can't because they don't know. And this is one of the biggest disconnects with why TradCons hate guys like me and Andrew. Anyway, hope that makes sense.